Caregiving is a journey filled with both challenges and rewards. While caregivers often encounter difficulties such as emotional stress, physical exhaustion, and time constraints, there are also many joys that arise from this experience. Families frequently find that caregiving deepens their connections and fosters a sense of both unity and purpose. Moments of shared laughter, gratitude, and love can create lasting memories. These highlight the importance of both compassion and support. You see, ultimately, despite the many hurdles, families come to appreciate the unique bond formed through caregiving. It helps them to recognize that it's a transformative experience that enriches lives. Hi, I'm Shari Bailey. I'm joined by Michael Nash. In today's episode of Caregiving Unboxed, we delve into the multifaceted experience of caregiving, shedding light on profound rewards that it does bring. While caregivers often face many obstacles such as physical demands, emotional stress, and time constraints, we explore how these experiences can actually lead to unexpected moments of joy and connection. Today, we celebrate the resilience of caregivers and highlight the beautiful moments that make the challenges worthwhile. Hi, Michael.
Hey, Sherry.
So, today we're kind of flipping the script a little bit, and we've talked a lot about some of the challenges and responses that we get from being family caregivers to our beloved ones. But today we're going to change the narrative and really take time to highlight the joys that come with caregiving. That is an actual statement. There are joys that come with caregiving.
Yeah, it's so true. I think what happens sometimes is, you get caught up in the day to day and the challenges that if you're not careful, you'll miss the blessings that being a caregiver can
Yeah.
really bring into your life.
Yeah. It's those moments of pure joy that, like you said, when you're so knee deep in the challenges that you can actually miss
Yes.
these moments. We've had several moments
Yeah.
raising Layla, and, I'm sure families that are listening have their own moments that they can reminisce on.
hmm
One that I vividly remember and I always talk about
hmm
is when Layla took her first steps
Yeah.
at 6 years old.
hmm
So the backstory with this is Layla has a very rare syndrome, and she was not supposed to make it past her second birthday based on the complications of her syndrome. But beyond that, doctors didn't even think that she would be able to walk. And here she is one day after I gave her a bath. I'm in the closet trying to get the clothing together, and she's wrapped up in her towel in our bedroom. And all of a sudden, she takes her first steps.
hmm
You
Yeah.
were there.
Yeah, I remember it. It was kind of funny when you think about it because it's like, just imagine her entire life, she didn't walk. And not saying that we gave up on the possibility of her walking, but it was just kind of like a shock. So it was like Sherry's giving Layla a bath, and then as I'm coming up the steps, I see Layla dart through the hallway. I'm like, okay, no one's here but us. Lana might have been at her grandmom's house or something, and it was like, okay. And then before that, I was like, Sherry, Layla just walked through the hallway. And you came out, I was like, what? What? And at that point, I grabbed my phone and said, if she does it again, I'm gonna catch it. And she was loose. She was going. It was just like it was such a joy.
And she did it
Yeah,
as if she was always
she's doing
doing it.
it. Yep.
It was like it was something that clicked in her brain that day.
It wasn't prompted.
It was not prompted,
Mm-mm.
and she did it as if it was just a Tuesday and she decided to walk. It was
Yeah.
one of the most remarkable things. I remember we caught that moment on
hmm
camera,
hmm
and I didn't know whether to laugh or cry or smile or be happy. I think all those
Emotions.
emotions
Yeah.
just came out of me at once, and I
hmm
remember just screaming like, "Oh my God!
Yep.
Oh
Yep.
my God!" And just watching her as she's nonchalant,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like not like two steps and falling. I'm talking like
Walking,
full
full
blown
fledged walking.
walking.
Yeah, yeah. It was definitely a joy to see. It was amazing. And again, like when we first started, I said sometimes you can be so knee deep in
Yeah,
the battle that you'll miss
those moments.
those moments like that. But I was glad, I was able to see it
Yeah.
It was remarkable. It was
It really
remarkable.
was.
Yeah.
So Layla can now walk, but
Hmm.
because of some long-term mobility
Hmm.
issues, she can only take a few steps at a time,
Hmm.
and then she needs rest.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was just a remarkable milestone for Layla
Hmm.
to walk at 6 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is another experience that comes to mind for you?
For me, I have a few. I have a few,
Okay.
but for the sake of time, I remember it was right before school. Now, fast forward, this is after, she took her first steps and she's kind of getting acclimated to just knowing, okay, I can move around. Like
Yeah.
I'm mobile a little bit. And typically, when we take her downstairs, we would carry her,
Yeah.
right? This one particular time, she didn't want me to pick her up. And then I was like, what is she doing? And she sat down on her butt and she started scooching down the steps. And I was like, okay, this little girl is extremely intelligent.
Yeah.
And it was her way of saying, listen, I got this, in her own little world where, there are limitations to what she can and cannot do. Somehow she figured out if I sit down and just use the momentum of my body, and she scooched down 2 flights of stairs. And it was like,
Unbelievable.
wow. Like,
Unbelievable.
and she was smiling the whole time. Like, it was like she was so proud of herself. And that's the piece that just kind of broke me down. I was like, oh God, like this is a lot.
It's a
It's this an
major,
emotional moment right
another
here.
major milestone.
Yeah.
And I vividly remember that
Hmm.
moment as well. And we just watched her really just adapt to life based on her abilities.
Yep.
And that was a
Uh,
magical moment. I think
yeah.
families everywhere
Hmm.
had those moments,
Hmm.
whether the child is nonverbal or limited mobility
Yeah.
wise, or, perhaps limited in other
Yeah.
developmental ways or functionalities.
Hmm.
They see moments of the child or adult doing things their way,
Hmm.
and they're still accomplishing the
Yeah.
same thing. You heard the saying,
Hmm.
there's more than one way to skin a
Yeah.
cat.
Yeah.
And while we go down the steps a
Yep.
certain way, Layla found a way to go down based on her abilities, and we
Mhm.
thought that was a remarkable
Yeah.
milestone.
And I think it's things like this, right? Um, for those who don't know, Layla's gift,
Hmm.
the foundation. That's why we celebrate milestones. Because in our community, what may seem minute, very small for the average person, or maybe the quote unquote normal family, these things are big to us.
They're
Like
huge.
first steps. First time Layla ate solid food. When you're on the G tube, it's like you're like everything goes through the G tube. And like the first time she ate solid foods, like that's a milestone
So
in
can
our
we have a
community.
minute
Yeah,
and
yeah,
talk
yeah.
about that? So,
Hmm.
like you said, she is full time on the G
G tube,
tube.
yeah.
So this means the Pediasure
Yep.
goes through her feeding machine
Medication if she's
5
sick.
times a day. The
Yep.
medication.
Hmm.
The only thing she has been taken by mouth regularly is water.
Water.
So
Yeah.
she'll take sips of water
Hmm.
from time to time, but no solids
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Hmm.
She was at a pace when she was like about 3, 4 years old where she would eat the pureed
Yeah.
banana
Hmm.
food, but she stopped that. And that's part of, syndromes and things like that.
Hmm.
Some habits change
Yeah.
and they're completely gone.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
she had stopped the pureed food for years.
Yeah.
And then the other day, I want to say a few weeks ago,
Hmm.
we were eating, you had made some fried chicken wings
Yeah. Yeah.
and French
Go figure,
fries. It
right?
was a
Hmm.
Friday night or
Hmm.
something like that. And we said, okay, let's break it up and see if she'll eat some. And this is something that we do
Yeah.
often just
Hmm.
to make sure that she's
Yeah.
continuously in the position to try,
Yeah.
right? Even if she
Hmm.
doesn't want it.
Hmm.
And this day, she ate 2 full wings. Now,
Yeah.
granted, it took some time because we
Yeah.
had to break it
Figure it out.
up,
Yeah.
but she ate 2 full wings
Hmm.
and about 8 French fries.
Yeah.
And that was a sight to
Yeah.
see.
And it was good because it's like Layla doesn't talk. But remember how we noticed, like when we would be in the kitchen, she would get real fussy, and we would try everything. You want to walk around? You want water? You want a toy?
Yeah.
You want to turn Mickey up louder? And nothing would calm her down.
Yeah.
And we brought her in the kitchen and and that's what it was. It's like she's
She was
even
signaling
developing,
us.
yeah,
She
like
said, I want to try.
yeah,
I want to try it.
yeah, that
And
was good too.
that was
Hmm.
amazing. So now every day we make it a habit
Yep.
to sit her at the kitchen table with us
Hmm.
in her chair
Yep.
and try.
Yeah.
Some days she'll take a couple bites, some
Hmm.
days she won't,
Yeah.
but it's really her way.
And the thing is, Layla knows what she likes and what she doesn't like.
Yeah.
Even in her condition, in her state, she knows there's certain things she doesn't like.
Yeah.
And like she's not a sweet person,
Yeah.
and it's like she'll like
Nope.
she'll make the face.
Hmm.
So, like I said, I
Or
love it.
she'll go like this.
Yep. Hmm.
That's her way of saying no.
Yeah.
Mm-mm, I don't want
So again,
it.
those are the things that when you're tired and when you feel like you can't go any further and you feel like you have given all that you can give in this given situation, it's those small milestones, which are actually huge blessings if you ask me, it's almost like her way of saying, I'm still here.
I have some tricks up
I
my
got some
sleeve.
tricks up my sleeve for you guys.
Yes.
I'm going to show y'all that in my world, I function.
Yep.
And it's a blessing to see. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I could go on.
Mhm.
There was one moment I remember where just the simple act of putting on a coat is
Mm-hmm.
was difficult for
Yeah.
her. And just having her extend her arm to go
Mm-hmm.
into the sleeve, and
Yeah.
now she's able to just put on a coat. Obviously, we're facilitating
Yeah.
it, but she's able to
Yeah.
put her arms in
Mm-hmm.
to the coat. May seem trivial to most
Yeah.
people, but that's another huge joyous
Yeah.
moment
It
that
is.
we've experienced.
Yeah. Because I remember, for a while we would have to put her coat on, like put it on her, fully put it on. Now we kind of just facilitate it. You hold your coat up, she'll put her right arm in, her left arm in, and she gets really excited about
Yeah,
that.
she does.
It's almost like an accomplishment. And it's just her resilience is just it's
It's
yeah,
amazing
it's
to
amazing.
witness. It
Yep.
really is. And I think that's a really important point because families that are raising children with special needs, the milestones are going to look likely different
Hmm.
than most common
Yeah.
milestones. And the families not only should participate in the celebration
Hmm.
of these victories,
Hmm.
but also people external to the household
Hmm.
should really take the time to appreciate these small moments.
Yeah.
As minute as it may seem, it's really not. And to a family like ours, like
Yeah.
if they see Layla, if someone external to our household sees Layla putting her arm through the
Hmm.
coat,
Hmm.
and we're like, "Yes, Layla, good
Hmm.
job." Like the other side should also embrace and
Yeah.
celebrate that. And I think that's
Hmm.
a big part too for the family to be able to fill
Yeah.
their tank
Yeah.
of happiness
Yeah.
when other people rejoice
Hmm.
in those moments. I'll also add that the moments are going to look very different. Like our Layla may never walk the stage to
Yeah.
graduate high
Hmm.
school, and that's a huge accomplishment
Yeah.
for a lot of high school
Yeah.
students. And knowing that we have to be able to live in the moments that
Yeah.
we know she will be able to
Yeah.
accomplish, and hopefully other people will join into
Hmm.
that celebration.
Yeah. And I think too, um, sometimes again, like on one of the other episodes, we spoke about until you walk this path,
Hmm.
sometimes you won't get it. And I totally understand
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So to bring you into our life and our world, you imagine a beautiful child that at the age of 2, where most children were crawling, she could barely roll from her back to her stomach. And to fast forward and now see her like walking through the house again, she still walks with some complications due to other things,
Yeah.
but walking through the house and trying to open up the doorknob to get into the room, into the bathroom, and things like that, it melts your heart
It
because
does.
we've seen where she's come from.
Yes.
So I'm never going to shy away from sharing that joy with people who may not understand it.
Yes.
And again, I'd say charge it to my head and not my heart. It's not, to minimize anyone else in any stretch of the word. But when you've seen the miraculous accomplishments that she has come through and overcame and things like that, it's amazing. It's
It
amazing.
is. It is. And, you know, I think we'll end with the importance of taking the time to celebrate these moments. And you're driving on a road that is very turbulent
Yeah.
and has a lot of obstacles, and you're navigating through this road every day.
Hmm.
But that moment where the road feels a little clearer and
Yeah.
you get that smooth kind of ride,
Yeah.
even if it's temporary,
Hmm.
enjoy it.
Yep.
Put the window down, feel the air,
Yes. Yes.
and soak in the sunshine and
Hmm.
really take that moment to enjoy, even if it's temporary,
Yeah.
that smooth road.
Yeah.
And again, I encourage other people to join into those moments as well, because that small cheerleading that you could do on the sideline for the family will really go
Yeah.
a long way.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. And those small moments, I promise you, they will help you get through some of them tough times.
Yes.
Just the thought of thinking back when you know, again, you're knee deep in everything that could possibly drive you over the edge that day seems like it's happening. Those small victories and those things, it almost gives you that
Another day.
another day, put that glimmer back
Yes.
in your eye, and
That
that's all you
glimmer,
can
that
ask for.
hope.
That's all you can ask for.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, I hope that you enjoyed today's episode of Caregiving Unboxed. We really wanted to change the narrative a bit and show that caregiving really does have some great sides to it. It's not always just being knee deep in giving care for our loved ones, but there are moments of joy that we find in the journey because of strides that the child or adult makes, or moments that we share despite the challenges. Caregiving Unboxed releases a new episode every third Monday of the month. So make sure that you subscribe and follow the page to stay up to date on all of our new episodes. Until next time.
Later.